I don't mean to get too carried away, and I don't want to sound like I'm jumping the gun, but you might want to go on Expedia and book tickets for a cruise. The cruise is all aboard the HMS Piss the League with David Moyes as the captain. On ship entertainment, it includes goals galore, Benrahma assists, Declan Rice dominating the midfield, and you're all going to enjoy the spectacle that is the 9-month-long cruise of the HMS Piss the League courtesy of West Ham United. It started today with a 4-2 win over Newcastle United up north. For those of you who did the long drive up there, you certainly weren't disappointed, were you? Let me start my first 2021-22 season aftermath where West Ham United beat Newcastle United 4-2. It only ever rarely happens, but West Ham have beaten Newcastle at St James's Park in what was a very entertaining game of two teams who had ups and downs in the game. Both teams, I think, had really good midfields and really good attacks, but had some defensive frailties, and they showed for both sides, if anything. So, I mean, we've got to give credit to Newcastle because they really were a threat. And when I say threat, I just mean Allan Saint-Maximin and Callum Wilson. Everybody else was a bit off pace. But as for West Ham, our threat, that front four we got is insanely well organised and structured. It's allowed Moyes to give West Ham some kind of identity in its system. And we've got something that actually works now. It proved today. You know what I'm saying? West Ham scored 3 goals in the second half. All very nicely taken goals, and all as a result of teamwork, pressing, and a superb counter-attack. As per usual with my aftermath videos, I'm going to start with the team lineups, and then I'll get into the action in the first half. Even though there is still a lack of depth due to no real signings, and the fact that we've got more goalkeepers and strikers, what's new? It was still a very good, strong team. Benrahma started, as we'd expected. He's filling in a gap that Lingard left last season. And Fornals was in there as well. It looked as though Fornals was going to go as a number 10 and Benrahma in the wing, but I think that changed during the game. O'Connor passed the late fitness test and he was starting in centre-back role along with Craig Dawson. It was a full-strength team, really. And apparently there's going to be some major transfer news after the game. I'm yet to hear anything about it, but I am still checking my phone and see if anything comes up. But overall, a really good team lineup. Strong usual side. And yeah, it looked really good. The thing with Newcastle is they went 5 at the back. And they had 3 in the midfield and 2 up top. And the 2 up top were Callum Wilson and Allan Saint-Maximin. Those 2 players cause absolute nightmares for us. Not at least because Saint-Maximin just absolutely shreds defences to bit with his dribbling and pace. And Callum Wilson always gets his mandatory goal against West Ham. You can bet anything you want on that. Mortgage, life savings, your pet dog, whatever, on Callum Wilson scoring against West Ham. Lo and behold, it's going to happen. Okay? And that's foreshadowing what does actually happen in this game. I don't think we were even like 5 minutes in when West Ham conceded. Allan Saint-Maximin's going down the channels. Cresswell stupidly gives the ball away deep in West Ham's defensive zone. Allan Saint-Maximin keeps turning in Declan Rice in and out. In fact, Allan Saint-Maximin then turned into Uncle Ben and cooked Declan Rice and, served him with some curry and a bit of naan bread. You know what I'm saying? And then what happened is the Saint-Maximin does his tippy-tappy, crosses it in. Callum Wilson. Craig Dawson's not even in front of the bleeding striker. Callum Wilson's got carte blanche to head it in. Fabianski doesn't even react. It's 1-0 to Newcastle. I told you Callum Wilson had scored against West Ham. Okay, did it at Bournemouth. Did it now for Newcastle. Bloody typical stuff, right? And Craig Dawson, shambolic. The fact that Dawson allowed the ball to come into Wilson's path and didn't even make an attempt to clear it just reminds me of why Dawson, or our real centre-backs other than Ogbonna, are really bad, and why we do need another centre-back. Because if we start Dawson next week against Leicester, we're going to get absolutely shredded to bits by Jamie Vardy and co. Craig Dawson was at fault for that first goal. You can't really blame Declan Rice for that. Declan Rice was outdone by, some dribbling by ASM. So, but still, the defence, bad. 1-0 Newcastle, and that should have given West Ham the kick up the arse that they needed. It wasn't just the defence that was worrying me here, it was the decision-making. And when I say the decision-making, what I'm saying is lack of communication or last-minute communication breakdown. Souček passed straight to a Newcastle player when he was trying to get it into the box. Antonio, he's never been the kind to strike from distance, but he did it for 30-odd yards out, fired wide. He doesn't strike from distance. Why the hell was he doing that? Cresswell crossing was a bit bad. Corners it was alright, but his crossing from open play wasn't that great either. But either way, that didn't really matter because West Ham did equalise. And I got confused as who the goal scorer was, but West Ham equalised, so yay, happy days, folks. So after a few crosses in the box, Aaron Cresswell fired across goal. I'm not sure if it was either Tomáš Souček or Jared Bowen who scored this. I'm not sure who got the last touch, but it was VAR checked. And I think what VAR was looking for here is who touched the ball last. Thankfully, it was neither Souček nor Bowen, and that's thankful because it would have been offside otherwise. Cresswell scored with a Pablo Fornals assist, and it was 1-1. Initially, I thought it wasn't going to be given because Martin Atkinson was referee and VAR usually doesn't go in West Ham's favour, but oh yes it was. It was a goal. And both teams came to life really soon after. Alan Saint-Maximin was still shredding apart our team. He was given open space and just all the time to dribble and dribble and dribble. I tell you, without his pace and without his dribbling, he's just a Gucci Aaron Lennon. But that wasn't the case. What you're calling Gucci Aaron. He is though. Without all that pace. But anyway, Wilson tried to backheel the ball in. Fabianski saved it. Bowen struck at Freddie Woodman. Woodman saved it. Decent chances from both teams there. But it was still 1-1. And I thought West Ham would come to life a little bit in that. But the midfield was still a bit shaky. Antonio still wasn't looking very confident. And because of the shakiness, it resulted in Newcastle scoring again. And guess who was to blame for it? Jacob Murphy made it 2-1 to Newcastle. Again, bad defending. Not only did we struggle against that back five because of their wing-back system, but this is bad defending again. Fabianski doesn't even react again to try and save this. But Craig Dawson, again, is to mainly blame. Does nothing to even stop Jacob Murphy's shot. He lets Murphy shoot. And not only that, he lets the ball go in. Like, geez, get the man dropped. Get Rochdale Roger Johnson out of the damn team. Seriously. What is going on, man, with Dawson? I mean, people slag off Diop, but Diop can't be any worse, surely. Diop can't be worse than Dawson, even if you don't like Diop. I'd rather have stuck Diop in all fairness. But, 2-1 Newcastle. We couldn't cope with all the crosses they were putting in. Players like Matt Ritchie, Murphy, Almiron putting crosses in. Left, right and centre. Weren't getting dealt with properly. It was making my heart go mental. Every time a cross went in. But it was half-time. Thankfully, half-time. I hope Moyes gave him a talking to then. Because losing 2-1 and nothing really much to give. Yeah, Bowen and Fornals were doing okay. Rice wasn't really having the best game of his career at that point. I would have taken Antonio off and probably put on Manuel Lanzini to have a more passing role in the midfield and then put Bowen up as the lone striker. But no changes were made at half-time and West Ham needed a big response in that second half. And I have to say, big response is probably quite an understatement. And now's the time where you can smile if you're a West Ham fan and you can start buzzing. Because, spoiler alert, second half was really good. The second half didn't really start off great because West Ham still left Newcastle way too open. Defence was still very shoddy and unstructured. But what the defence couldn't do, the offence made up for it, if that makes sense. And it was 2-2. Rice dispossessed the player. Antonio crossed in. He kept the ball in play and crossed it in. Benrahma's got a header from very close range. He's not going to miss it. It's 2-2 to West Ham. Saïd Benrahma gets his first goal of the season. And I wasn't really expecting him to score with his head, but he did it. I don't really care. It's 2-2. And that point onwards, I have to say, West Ham started to get a bit more control in the game. So Maximan still caused a few problems for defence. He mugged off Craig Dawson from inside West Ham's own box. But that ball was cleared away. And counter-attack started. And this was key to the second half, was the organisation and the counter-attacking system. The space West Ham had, they knew where bodies were. Looked organised as well. And like I said at the start, Moyes gave this counter-attacking system some kind of identity, because I know what players are kind of moving. It starts off with Rice, then moving in the midfield, usually getting it to Benrahma in the number 10 role, and then usually Benrahma, or it could even be Rice, are passing it either to Bowen or to someone else on the wing, mainly Fornals, and then waiting for a player to get into the box while all of that's taking place. And usually it's Michail Antonio, if you want to talk about the counter-attacking system. I will mention Antonio. This is where West Ham's third goal of the game comes in. Antonio hits the crossbar, R.I.P. Tiddles of West Ham clips, and a penalty was awarded after Pablo Fornals was apparently fouled. Tame decision in hindsight, but it was a penalty to West Ham and I didn't really care. Michail Antonio went up against Freddie Woodman. Woodman saved it, but Souček smashed in the rebound. 3-2 to West Ham. The comeback was done. And you can't say that it was undeserved. It definitely was deserved, because West Ham pressed and pressed and pressed and fought to get those goals. And that's what was really good. Souček gets his first goal of the season there. 3-2 to West Ham. Happy days, my folks. From another counter-attack, West Ham made it 4-2. This killed off the game. And you're not really a proper West Ham fan if you're not still nervous when your team's winning 4-2 with around 20 minutes left. But I was, and just didn't want us to mess it up. But 4-2 to West Ham, that really did, in hindsight, kill off that game. Michail Antonio scored the goal. Another great counter-attack. Saïd Benrahma with the assist on it. Antonio scored his 47th Premier League goal and ties Paolo Di Canio for most Premier League goals scored by a West Ham player. One more sees Michail Antonio become West Ham's all-time top Premier League goal scorer, and 3 more make him a 50-goal Premier League player. So, a little bit of personal bragging rights for Antonio there. But, no, that counter-attacking system, man. I'm going to just touch a bit more on this. Newcastle couldn't close it down. Bad defending from them. They just couldn't close down the pace and the flow of that attack system. It was Saïd Benrahma usually making the runs and finding the space. Antonio was just having the ball fed through to him. He wasn't going to miss. He fired it past Woodman. Really well taken effort. Kind of thought it was going to go in anyway before he even shot. Joe Willock was watching, Newcastle's new signing. Joe Willock was watching the game. And he must be thinking, damn, what have I joined? I mean, they showed him and his parents quite a hell of a lot on the TV. And I'm like, geez, we know they're there. We don't need to see him. I mean, it's not like, parents' evening or something. But my point is, Willock's joining this team. And him not playing probably was a bit of an advantage for West Ham, I have to say. But, overall, finished 4-2 to West Ham. West Ham really tightened up in that second half and got their act together. And it showed. Organised, structured, well-disciplined second half performance, and a threat from 4 players. Newcastle's sole threat was Alisson, Maximan and Callum Wilson. And Callum Wilson actually came off and Jolinton came on very late in that second half. West Ham made their 3 subs late just to kill the clock. It's typical David Moyes to make late subs anyway. What's changed there? But, West Ham's game management and organisation really was key to this win. Well done, West Ham. Those of you who travelled up north, I heard you on the TV singing really loudly. You did a great job for the full 90 minutes. Have a safe trip. Thank you very much for watching the first aftermath of the 2021-22 season. If you liked the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Next week we got Off the Press, the preview for the Leicester game. Oh, and it's my 24th birthday as well, next Friday. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.